All right, peace, brothers and sisters. Shalom, shalom. Man, I can't get enough of sitting back listening to this fake and the fraud nigga coon here by the name of King Erna. And I didn't even listen to the video, but he has a major love affair with Alpo Martinez, a man that got murdered, right? Because, you know, he probably was just riding around. He didn't have no security or nothing like that, but that's neither here nor there. But look at the hypocrisy in this Negro here. He did a post, said that he killed Alpo Martinez, and said he felt like Alpo Martinez should have got killed because he's basically was a cancer in the neighborhood. Well, first of all, Alberto Martinez, when he got out of jail, I don't know what his dealings was or what he did to make money and things of this nature. But Alpo was in his lane and this Negro was in his. Now it's interesting on how that he talks all this garbage about this guy, but Alpo talked to this man on the phone, and Alpo told him he will meet him somewhere. They could sit down and have a conversation. Do you know that this coward, he wouldn't even do it? But he talks about how these individuals are nothing but cowards, but he wasn't even man enough to go see this man one on one. Alpo offered to go see him one on one to come have a conversation with this brother. This brother did not do it because deep down he's a coward. See? And there's nothing spiritual about this guy. There's nothing spiritual. It's because if Islam is a religion that's basically of the creator, then why every time you get on your post you always spewing out madness about individuals you so called taking their honor away. But here it is, a lot of you Muslim guys be in the neighborhood, you sell drugs to I'm talking about you black Muslims. You sell drugs to our people. You cause a lot of havoc in the neighborhood. I wonder, has he ever said anything about the OBH crew that he was affiliated with? Our Ab and all the rest of those guys that reap terror in the neighborhood. See, he look at those individuals as if they honorable men, but they not. It's because they they were Muslims. They believe in Islam. But here it is, they was in their neighborhoods killing individuals. They was selling drugs in the neighborhood. Are you gonna snatch our Ab's honor? Huh? Are you gonna snatch his other right hand man that declared to be a Hebrew Israelite now? Are you gonna snatch his honor away? See, the Bible says that you can't be a respecter of person. If you're gonna criticize Alpo, Nikki Barnes, and the rest of the people that quote unquote told on individuals, you got to criticize yourself. It's because a lot of you coons, you was in a neighborhood and you destroyed the neighborhood. This is why one of my guys, he was out in Philadelphia. He was doing some work in Philadelphia, and he was saying how bad. See, out here in Chicago, we used to think that the drug epidemic was bad, but he said it has nothing to do with the drug epidemic out there in Philadelphia. He said them people out there, man, are like the walking dead. And who is the ones that contributed to all that? It's these Negroes. See? And a lot of these guys that was contributing to it were what? They were Muslims. So how is this guy able to be on a podcast talking about individuals, but here it is, he's a hypocrite. He's steady talking about Alpo. And one he that's very dangerous for him to be doing is because Alpo got family and friends that love him just like individuals love this individual. And he will go outside one day and somebody may end up, and I hope that this don't happen to the brother, but he can get his brains blown out just because of the nonsense that he sprue on television. And really, he's not even that type of person because if you a tough guy, then why didn't you go meet Alpo like he said that you should do? That see, that's how you know that these dudes are not built that type of way. And then he's talking about an individual that comes from an era. Alpo ain't even in his era, and he's questioning this guy. How what's baffling to me about these guys, man, and a lot of dudes get away with this, 10 toes down, and all the rest of these guys. They talk about snitching, telling. 10 toes down was talking about Brian Glaze Gibbs and Sammy the Bull and all the rest of these guys. They told, right? Granted, they did, and they make no they don't lie about them telling, right? But what do we say about these individuals that didn't tell, but still infested our neighborhoods with the drug epidemic? Do you understand why these kids are out here raging in the streets? Is because a lot of these guys sold drugs to their parents, and a lot of their parents was unable to raise their kids properly because of these niggas that's in the neighborhood that been selling drugs in the neighborhood for years. Huh? Why is it that they able to come home, do 20, 10, 15, 30 years, and they able to live, they able to go about their way without no consequences and repercussions behind what they did back in the day? You know why? It's because the black community is nothing but a bunch of hypocrites. And we condone this nonsense. See, this individual right here, he should not be allowed to walk the streets and talking like he's talking because he was a cancer to the neighborhood just as well. They sold drugs in the neighborhood. They infested our neighborhoods with drugs, pimping our women, see, causing havoc in the neighborhood. But now all of a sudden, these people are righteous. They can sit back and they can criticize other people. But here it is. Look at all of the nonsense that they did in the neighborhood. And the neighborhood is even worse because of these guys. A lot of these guys that was from the 80s, the 70s, the 90s, the 2000s that went to jail for this. Not this is the result of the community being destroyed. So it's very interesting on how this guy can sit on television and spew out all his madness, but here it is, he doesn't even question the stuff that he did back in the day. Who's able to steal his honor? Who's gonna take the honor away from 10 toes down and a lot of these guys that criticize other people? They talk about Brian Glaze Gibbs. He told on Fat Cat. But here it is. Brian Glaze Gibbs make the statement that Fat Cat was telling on them first. See? To save his mama and his sister and things of this nature. He was giving out information. Look at one of the dumbest criminals in the world. What's his name? Guy Fisher. Guy Fisher went to jail because He started to mess with the boss's wife. See, you mess with the boss's wife, and here it is, the boss know everything about you. He decided to sleep with his boss's wife, and this is one of the reasons why all them Negroes went to jail. Nicky Barnes was 10 toes down before all those guys decided to do what? Take his operations from him while he was in prison. Now, does that sound like honorable man? If we're talking about men of honor and integrity, when Nicky Barnes was in jail doing his bid or whatever years that they had him in jail, his own organization, which is the council, they were seeking to take his organization away from him. His man that was enforcers. He wanted them to do something to Guy Fisher. They didn't want to do it because why? Because Guy Fisher was going to be the next man to take over the organization. And like I said, he's sleeping with the boss's wife. Is that men of integrity? See, these Negroes are nothing but a bunch of hypocrites. They talk about how they honorable and things of this nature, but here it is, they go behind your back and sleep with your kid's mother. See? This how stupid they is. If we're gonna criticize Nicky Barnes, Alpo Martinez, we're gonna criticize all the people that told. We got to criticize these guys too. They know different because a rat is a bottom feeder. You can't eat a rat. A rat is a scavenger. So a rat doesn't mean necessarily a person that's telling. This guy that's on Facebook that's selling sea moss and all this other stuff, he's a rat. It's because he was a part of an organization that committed terror amongst his own people. Him and all the rest of these guys. So, with that being said, brothers and sisters, whoever's listening to this dude, man, y'all need to stop listening to him because he's a fake and a fraud. Shalom.